afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Life as I See It with your hostess, Dina Nierenberg, and one of my favorite guests ever, Janika Dusareva. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. So nice to be here, as usual.
Basically, the topic of the day is aging gracefully. I hate even the word aging. I mean, what is that word really? That refers to our bodies. We're so much more than our bodies, Jana. We are all soul. We are literally all soul. And as everybody knows, the soul is ageless. Eckhart Tolle says that the more that you hang on to memories and the more that you hang on to the past, the older you feel.
Yeah.
You start to see more and more and more of your biological age. If you can start to say, oh, when I was 2, and that was such a long time ago. When I was 10, that was such a long time ago. When I was 20, 30, 40, like it never even happened. It's like that's when you start to feel really, really old. The only time you can ever really feel young and truly alive is in the present moment. Being able to fully appreciate the present moment, focusing on literally what's right in front of you, focusing on conversations with friends, focusing on nature, a plant that I'm looking at right here in the room, a gorgeous monstera that's been alive now for almost 3 years. Like that to me is like, yay, I can't believe it. Because to me, like plants like die in an instant, but I've been taking care of this one for like a long, long, long time, like literally putting my love into it. And it grows from love, but just like your plant grows from love, you grow from love. And when you stop taking care of yourself, that's when you start to age, and that's when you really start to feel, like dead. You feel dead inside when you don't take care of yourself. You feel old inside when you don't take care of yourself. It's the responsibility of each and every one of us to take care of ourselves in every single way. And like you keep on saying, it's about growing. It's like life is a growing experience. It's all about learning and what you can learn and still go see and still go do. It's like a lot of people think, oh, I'm a certain age and therefore I can't go to the city anymore. And therefore I can't throw myself into the ocean anymore. And therefore I can't climb a tree anymore. Well, the one thing I'm not going to do anymore is climb a tree. I'll tell you the truth. It's like, I did that a lot when I was 7 and 8. We were like talking about that before the show. When I was 7 and 8 years old, there was nothing I liked more than climbing trees. That was my fun in life. We had a really decent backyard. People don't like build out these patios, these porches back then. Your backyard was your backyard. Whatever you had, you had. And so many of us here in Brooklyn, we actually had trees in which to climb. And that was so much fun. And, but those days are over. I don't think now at my 40-something-year-old self, I'm going to keep on climbing trees. I'm a little bit nervous now about broken bones. I now know what can happen. But the idea here is to keep the spirit of that alive, that adventurousness. Wow.
That's what it is, Dina. I think it's not because you don't want to, because maybe it's not even interesting for you anymore.
It's really not anymore. I'm not 8.
Yeah, so see, like when you were doing it, it was exciting. It was something new you were discovering.
It's right. It's like, hello, we're not monkeys. We're not chimpanzees. Stop climbing the damn trees. But when you're a kid, that really is
it's interesting. Now you have a different interest, and you want to discover new things.
That's right.
And you're doing it. So if we will actually rephrase getting old to just mentally and physically growing, it would be less depressing, I guess, and just more exciting.
That's right. Yeah. If you can physically get out of your house in the morning, hello, opportunities abound. There's so much for you to do and so much for you to see. And and even if you think, oh, wow, I'm wasting my time going to a museum or going shopping or going for a walk, you're not wasting your time. These are all meaningful projects, meaningful adventures if you make it this. Right. It's all about what you make of it. If you fully enjoy living, then you are really, really accomplishing. But if an activity is just to pass time, then you're not really accomplishing.
No.
An activity should never be about just like, okay, I'm doing this to pass time because it's like 5 hours till dinner, 7 hours till bed.
Yeah.
Then it's just, life is so depressing. But if you're literally getting into every single activity and adventure that you do, I think that's the key to staying young. I really do, because you just, your soul, like we keep on saying, it's absolutely ageless. Your soul can appreciate any adventure that you embark on. It's not about your body, your aches and pains, or having wrinkles.
Definitely.
No one cares.
And,
I care.
now my new thing, what I'm doing, Dina, I have to share with you too. I'm trying to find new roads from subway to my work. So I used to be, I'm like a million of people in the world. I liked my comfort zone. The same coffee every day, the same little muffin or donut, and the same street. Now what I'm doing, I'm actually changing it. I'm trying to discover new coffee shops. I'm trying to find new bakeries, new streets, new houses, see what's around. And I have so many opportunities for this. I live in New York City, and you cannot imagine, in one block there are so many things I've never noticed before. And another thing what keeps me young too, because you start seeing world with the eyes of a child.
That's the idea. That's how you stay young.
Yeah.
That's right. To see the world through the eyes of a child. You can only get that if you can access the present moment.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but if you're seeing the world through the eyes of like a world-weary traveler who's been through this and has done that and has carried such like what Eckhart Tolle calls like a heavy pain body, like you carry so much from your past, so much memories and so many sad things that have ever happened to you. If you're going to see the world through that lens, everything looks old and awful, and well, even if I'm seeing something brand new, well, who really cares? What's the biggie? You know, it's like, ugh, so it's another house, so it's another tree, so it's another destination. It's on how you elect to see the world. You could see the world agelessly through your soul, or you could see the world through like your world-weary mind. It's two totally different things. You know, and it's interesting because your soul could be thousands and thousands of years old. Your mind is, of course, something, you know, however old you are, you know, biologically speaking. In my case, 49 years old. So it's funny because when I see the world through my mind, my 49-year-old mind, I may as well be 8,000 years old because it's like, another house, been there, done that. Another forest, been there, done that. Great. Another waterfall, been there, done that. How many have I seen in my life? When I'm fully present and I choose to see it through my soul, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a tree. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's another river. It's another lake. It's gorgeous. Even if I've seen it before, and how many times have we gone up to Bear Mountains?
Yeah.
You can see it through different moods. When you're all bothered and weighed down by your pain body, by everything that's sad in this world, you're like, great, so here's the river, it's beautiful. But we've been here before, we've done that before. But when you come in all soul, you're like, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
God created this, it's beauty. The colors, the living beings. You know, on top of it, inside of it, the surrounding trees, the gloriousness of the mountains.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not man-made, this is God created. And then you're like, wow, this is incredible, this is amazing stuff. And then you're all, wow, this is what living's really all about. Now,
Yeah, and it's in everything, Tina. It's in everything. Even when it comes to nature or even clothes, we get so spoiled here, and even the most beautiful quality and the finest silk becomes just a routine. We do not appreciate it. But then, like those little things, your earrings, for example, they're so lovely. They look amazing, and they shine. It's wonderful. And the linear, like, you know what, I'm just trying to, what I'm coming with this, it's to appreciate
That's right.
and admire things we have what we can have and not to make it as a routine. I think
That's right.
this is the routine, daily chores. That's what we have to do, unfortunately. But if you'll see them with more excitement and
Yeah.
love, even those the simplest things will be pleasure.
That's right.
Like getting dressed, find a nice jewelry, go outside, find a nice coffee shop, have a beautiful dinner. And that's what will keep us going. And we're always thinking about goals, global goals. Why I came to this world, what's my purpose, am I a good human being? But what about the little things? Starting with how I gonna plan what I gonna eat, how delicious is gonna be my food, how I gonna dress, who I gonna meet, who I gonna talk to. Am I gonna meet today my beautiful friends, having wonderful conversation like that? Maybe it's not bad to think global sometimes, and it's like on a whole run, trying to understand our position in this world, but to have the small little things and share it with the people around us and make at least like a group, few people happy, and first of all yourself.
For sure, for sure. Well, this show definitely makes me very, very happy. And it's interesting because I was one time discussing with my producer Emma. Hi Emma. We were saying, it doesn't really matter if I make 10 people happy or 10,000 people happy. At least like I'm making myself and some other people happy. It's not about the numbers that I pull in through my show. It's all about whether or not I'm really enjoying what I do, and the group of people who are listening to me today, and perhaps are learning something from it. That's really the main thing. Do you remember the big existential talk as well as the tears that happened before the show? We were sitting there eating the most delicious tuna ever prepared by me, and I was telling you all about my existential dilemma, and I was basically saying, look, sometimes I sit here and I wonder what my purpose here is on earth. Like, why am I here? What am I doing here? But at the end of the day, I think that becomes more clear the more present that we are, and the more that we're existing from soul and not from mind. I think, like we were saying in the beginning of the show, the mind, I feel, is the enemy of the soul. I think the mind squashes the soul. I think the mind doesn't want to know from soul, doesn't want to know from, your essence of who you really are. Because, like we were saying before, the mind is what creates your whole story. Your mind knows a drib of the story, not even. Your mind barely scrapes the surface of your story. Your story is all soul. Your story is you, the very, very essence of you. The very essence of you has nothing to do with mind, has nothing to do with age. Mind is all about age. Mind likes to think about your age. Mind likes to think about things that happen at this age, this age, this age, and this age. Mind likes to think about your age. Mind also likes to think about the future after the age that you are now. It's like mind's not just about the past. Mind is also about the future. Mind likes to think about you and your life 10 years from now, 50, 10 years from now, when you're 60, 70, 80, whatever, on and on and on. All the aches and pains are going to come from it, the loss that will most likely come from it. That's what the mind wants to focus on. That's what the mind wants to dwell and live off of. Because that's what the mind lives off of. The mind lives off of time. The soul doesn't live off of time, honey. The soul goes on. The soul has been here before. The soul will be here again. The soul is ageless. The soul is mindless. The soul goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. When we're so immersed in our mind, that's when we start to worry so much about aging.
I think mind is also very fragile.
Yes.
It's also very
These days
open to
especially.
critique.
Terrible.
And it's the fear from outside, from other people, is just destroying it.
Especially these days.
Yeah, pieces. Yes, now it's, and I don't blame people.
That's the
There
epidemic.
it's not an easy time we're living in. And actually it was a saying, and I really like it, that it's easy to be saint if you live alone on top of the mountain. But try to stay in balance when thousands of people putting their fears on you, and then your mind is just collapsing, and that's like, of course, it's like,
Sure.
because I hear here this, you cannot do that, you are limited here, this,
All day.
and all day long.
Oh my.
But good that we meet people who can actually inspire us, but we probably shouldn't depend. That's the right way of living, when we do not depend on thoughts of others around us.
Sure.
So when we are in balance, we know what we want, how we want it, we are not breaking any rules, our rules, moral rules. And doesn't matter what religion you follow, what's your protocol, what's your own constitution. And it's interesting that you're talking about it right before your
Right.
holiday. But you know, and nobody, not your neighbor's opinion, will change your goal, not even your relatives or the closest people to you, because you know that it's right, that's how you want it, and you're not hurting anyone and you're not damaging anyone. It's just for your own growth. That's how I see it, because I feel like by the end of the day, we have to be in peace with ourselves.
It's true. It's all about being peaceful with yourself. If you're not in peace with yourself, then it's very hard even to feel connected to God. And that's the truth. If you're feeling so chaotic, God is last on your mind, because you're so immersed in this world and all of its craziness and chaos and mayhem, and all the things that people are saying to you and making you feel about yourself, and all of those conditioned beliefs that have been put on you, growing up, and it's like God is the last on your mind. But as soon as you throw off all those yokes, that's when you become very spiritual, and that's when you become close to God. But first we have to get rid of all these conditioned beliefs, and also not allow people to affect you these days as well. A person can keep on racking up conditioned beliefs until the day that they die if they're not careful. And so it's important, first of all, to surround yourself with awesome people. That's thing A. But thing B is that you cannot always surround yourself with awesome people. And so when you can't, don't allow them into your mind. That's it. And
but also, sometimes even the most beautiful people on earth and the loving ones have bad days.
For sure.
And they have
their crap.
Yes, and then their own bad experience, and they be like, you know what? I was not able to make it, and you wouldn't be too. Like, why?
If I couldn't do it, you can't do it either. Or you shouldn't, because I can't do it. You also shouldn't be able to do it. It's like, misery loves company. I'm hearing this all the time. Misery loves company. If I'm miserable, why shouldn't everybody else around me be miserable? This could be either be a conscious thought on my part, or it's like a subconscious idea that I keep on leaving imprints on other people. Like, I'm miserable, so should you be. And I do this via how I look at you, via my responses to you, which could be very negative responsive. Also just being having a negative energy, and then everybody's brought down by my negative energy regardless of what I say or don't say. It's like there's two types of negative people. There's those types that we all know we should avoid, the horrible people who say horrible things. Those guys, you don't want to talk to, and you probably never will again. But then there's also people, and they come with terrible negative energy, and they don't say anything to you, but you leave them feeling miserable. You know what I'm saying? You just leave them feeling so upset about life, depressed about life, and where your life and life in general is heading, the future of the world,
Yeah.
And you just it's just, oof. You want to take a shower when you get away from these people. I've had lunch with these kinds of people, and by the time you're done with them, and they didn't even diss on you. It's not even anything they said to you, but you leave them. You want to go home and take a long, hot or cold shower, whichever one you like better. and just like wash them out of your hair, you know?
Yeah, I know it. That's constantly could happen. It's you cannot protect yourself from this, but your reaction, that's something what you can work on. Your impulses, how you are taking this information, just be prepared. That could happen anytime, and it doesn't have to upset you, because most of the time critique is not about us, it's about people who say most likely they were struggling and most
with an
likely
idea, yeah, the
it's
issue.
they going through this issue and they just putting this on you
For sure.
to share it with. It's almost like never about us. When people criticizing, they issues on their own problems.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I see this not daily, but I do see this pretty frequently. I mean, I deal with a lot of different kinds of people all the time. Yes, professionally because I teach, but also, you know, with the people that I deal with, and you're just like, you know, sometimes it's with estheticians, sometimes it's with, you know, wellness people, and like they do mean well, but sometimes when you're dealing with them, you can clearly see that they have an issue. You know, cover up this, cover up that, cover up that. You know, pull that back up a little bit higher. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking to myself, you know, you're supposed to be a wellness person. The body's not supposed to scare you, but it clearly does.
It's so true. It's so true what you're saying, Tina, because I have experienced the same thing. I actually was criticized for being too enthusiastic or too social or too talkative. I was like, since when this is the problem? But then when I'm analyzing the life of the person who said this to me, because she grew up in a super conservative family where woman, a girl, shouldn't be talking a lot, should be shy, quiet, and just do homework. That's her purpose. And whatever she was teaching me, it's because someone taught her this. But it's like how I reacted to this. I was like, rather way people taking classes to talk a lot, to be more social, to learn the stuff. I should just discharge this information. It's not for me, it's for her. And I'm not the one who has to change her. It's her own life. If she wants to keep whatever her parents taught her, it's her wish. It's whatever makes her happy. But that's me. That's what makes me happy. I wouldn't be happy to stay quiet and not to talk. Definitely.
Yeah, the 100%. It's like so much of the time. And that's what like ages our mind also, is we take in the nonsense of other people. And again, that like buries us from our own agelessness.
Right.
When we take in the stuff of other people, it buries our own agelessness. It's like, we were talking before about this 104-year-old woman, you know, and she's like wondering why she has these aches and pains. You know, she's after 104 years old. But in her own soul, because she clearly works off of soul and not off of mind, her soul doesn't understand, well, why am I experiencing aches and pains? I'm like, hello, I'm ageless. You talk about being ageless, that means, hello, there's no age. You know, if the soul had its own face, the soul would have no wrinkles. The soul would have no aches and pains. The soul would never gain a pound. The soul's metabolism would run like this. But look, the soul only, you know, runs down here on planet Earth because it's working through a body, you know. But the question is, do you identify more with your physical body, which does age, and your physical mind, which does age, or with your soul, which is ageless? See, the more you're willing to work with your soul and identify with your soul, the less you're going to feel like a number. You know, why should I feel like a number? Well, because my birth certificate has got a number, like 1972, so now that makes me 49 years old. Why should I have to identify with a number? What, am I a prisoner? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you identify with a number, then you're literally a prisoner of your own body. never really thought about it till this absolute second. You are like, like just like brand me with a number. I'm a prisoner of my own body.
Yes, look, it bothers you because it's like if you just the number is a number, like you say, or whatever, I'm 65 or 72, 83. But if you are seeing it, unfortunately, I'm turning 35 soon. It sounds so sad. It's like life is over, or you didn't accomplish whatever you were planning to till this age. There are so many things in just one sentence. Just in one word, unfortunately. But if you say it with a happiness, thankfully, I am at that point that I am this and I'm at that age and I have so much more to learn and so much more to go. That's another perspective. It's another way of seeing age. Then maybe numbers not scary.
Right.
Because it's the way you say it. It's your own interpretation.
It's your perspective.
Perspective.
All about perspective. I remember being biologically 24 years old, and wow. Okay, so we all of us, we were all married at the time, and all of us had like a child. And I remember that we were supposed to have a play date, me and two of my friends and our babies. Anyway. One of them brought her baby who had a bad cold that day, and the other friend got really, really pissed off and really, really upset at her, and she's like, she grieves to me, and she's all like, hello, how could our friend bring her sick baby here today to the play date? Wouldn't you say that she's extremely wrong? She sounded like somebody's grandma. She sounded like about 180 years old. I said to her, listen, honey, it's just a cold. It's totally fine. Because our babies aren't really moving around all that much, you keep your baby here and she keeps her baby there. But she kept on going on and on and on about how much she was so upset about the fact that our friend brought her sick baby that day. She sounded like some out the caca of a grandma. And I'm like, what are you, 24 or like 104? And that kind of settled her down. But at that moment in time, I realized that a 24-year-old could be like a 94-year-old. And also a 94-year-old could be so much like a 24-year-old. I was recently at a very good friend's, her son's wedding. And anyway, this guy's grandmother, who's close to 70, she was wearing like a diamond kind of a tiara to the wedding. And I'm like, wow, this woman's almost 70 and she's wearing a tiara? Wow, I always thought that 5-year-olds wear tiaras, but this almost 70-year-old woman rocks it. She looks great. Why should you have to dress a certain way because you're a certain age or act a certain way because you're a certain age? So ladies and gentlemen, this is Life as I See It with your hostess, Dina Nierenberg, and one of my favorite co-hostesses of all time, John Gunisareva. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dina. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. This has been an awesome, amazing show. Wishing all of you life, love, and happiness.